We are a team called Finish Your Trash. We are working on the project Zero Waste Generation. And we have here Valeria, me, Sejenia, and Matt from Aalto University, and also Martin, Ricardo, and Jakub from Esad University. And last week we had our first kickoff session, and we are really excited about the entire project. And here we'd like to give you the results of our first week. So our challenge was given by LNT and City of Helsinki, and the entire challenge sounds as creating a zero waste generation Helsinki and also be able to turn trash into gold. In the beginning, it sounded really complicated, but after our conversation with companies, we realized gold implies raw materials. And how are we able to turn trash into raw materials? Lies in the amount of mixed waste reduced. So this is our simplified challenge, how we want to address it. And then we started to dig deeper about this problem, and we had this brainstorming session of trying to understand the roots and causes of such a high amount of mixed waste. And here you can see different clusters of those problems. And at this point, we realized, based on our observations or personal experience, that inconvenience would be the one we want to concentrate on. So here is our problem statement. How may we increase convenience of sorting and recycling waste for consumers?
So we came up with, we narrowed our ideas down to three main ones. So first we had sort of a sensor automated trash bin, sort of robotic type methods for sorting trash to take away the human element. We also came up with an idea to have sort of a wearable social tracking device and website for adding sociability to tracking people's waste. But ultimately, we decided to go with our idea of Binks, and I will just discuss that quickly now. So the idea of Binks is that it uses a service or a sort of computational algorithm to first analyze the space where people are disposing of trash, and then to optimize the bins both in their location and the types of bins so that they can be so that people are able to most conveniently sort their trash. So the way it works is if we come into a space such as this, and you can see that the different bins are in different locations, and do an analysis of, for example, the way people are moving throughout the space. So if the highest traffic areas are in these areas, then we would move the bins accordingly. And also, if there's a source of waste within a space, such as a canteen, then we would also adjust the bins accordingly. So if it's a primarily organic or bio waste at the canteen, then we would have a bin of according size and in the right location for people to conveniently dispose of their waste.
The next step for us was to design and run an experiment. And this is the hypothesis we identified for it. So it states as inconvenience is a major behavioral driver behind individual attitude towards waste sorting. And here we want to elaborate what inconvenience means. We decided it's either psychological or physical. And psychological means whenever you reach the trash bins, the signs they have or the colors are very confusing, and you take another 5 to 10 seconds thinking, okay, which is the right one? And you don't really understand this. The other one is mental. And this is a sketch from the e-garage, the place we've been working the last week. And it has only three trash bins, they're recyclable, but all the workload was happening in the right side of the location. So of course, natural people were throwing waste into the mixed ones. So that was the set for our experiment. And altogether, it had three phases. The first was just to see how people behave in the environment that is already existing. So the as is phase, we didn't move the location, we didn't change the location, and we didn't move the bins. The next one was to have the visual appeal more better for people. So we printed the different pictures of glass, plastic, or paper, so it's more convenient and it's more appropriate for the atmosphere. So for example, the paper had post-it notes because we used plenty of them during those during that week. And the last one was to actually relocate the bins to the most convenient way. So they're very approachable and easy to throw trash.
So these are the results of our experiments. If we start with the paper bin, you can see that in phase one, where it's at the back of the room with no labels, there's a large mixture of trash. A lot of it's not supposed to be in there. And in phase two, when we added the proper labeling, you can see that more people are putting the right thing in and less of the wrong thing. And in phase three, when there's both the labeling and the right location, there's still some people putting the wrong thing in. Actually, some commented that there was not a bio waste container there, so you can see that someone has put that orange peel in for that reason. For the glass container, again in phase one, there's a whole mixture of everything in there. In phase two, with the right labels, there is uh, less of the wrong things. And in phase three, again with the location and right labeling, there's almost only the right thing, which is the glass bottle in there. And lastly, the plastic. You can see in the phase one, the with the poor labels and the poor location, there's not very much. We can maybe assume that a lot of the plastic was maybe going in more conveniently located mixed waste bins. In phase two, with the right labels, there's an increase in volume, and in phase three, again, a larger increase in volume. Now, of course, we could speculate that these findings were not as accurate because they're taken at different times of the day where there's different amounts of activity. But for the most part, I think we can make some assumptions that the location and the signs were having an impact on people's behavior in disposing correctly their waste. This is some of the feedback that we received from people after the experiment. Most people who used the bins noticed the changes. They enjoyed the visual appeal. They felt there was a much bigger mental convenience for them. For some of them, they were making comments that there was actually missing bins, like for example the bio waste bin, and that resulted that we saw as the orange peel was ended up in the wrong bin. And they felt that the right location was also making a big difference, and some use the word effortless as well. So that was our summary of our work for our intensive week in Barcelona, and we hope you enjoyed the presentation, and thank you.